I've heard so many ACDC tribute bands in the last few days. Hello! Welcome to the Chrissy D Show with me, Chrissy D. Now, in case you didn't know, my favourite band is ACDC. Not only do I love ACDC, I also really like ACDC copycat bands or tribute bands. Now, some people might say,
"Oh, that's lame. Aren't they just copying ACDC? Aren't they just doing what ACDC do? Or aren't they just trying to sound like ACDC?"
Yeah, they are. That's a good thing. Because when you've heard every single ACDC song 1,000 times and you know every single note back to front, it can be nice just to hear an alternative version or someone doing it slightly differently or just someone else performing it, you know? Right? So I love tribute bands and copycat bands. I've heard a lot of them over the years, a lot of them. So I made a little list. And when thinking about this list, I'm thinking about the technicalities of their sound, their overall vibe, and what's really important to me is the passion that they put into these projects, because, you know, I'm passionate about these guys. So I want the tribute bands and the copycat bands to just really be in it to win it. So the way this will work, I'll talk a little bit about them and then I'll show you a little bit of them. Yeah? Does that work? Let's do that. Let's do it. Number 5, Banda Dirty Jack from Brazil. ACDC loves Brazil and Brazil loves ACDC. These guys are on the list for 2 main reasons. Number 1 is they have so much heart. They love it. And number 2 is that their Angus is just so amazing. Not only has he got the guitar tone down, he's an entertainer. He's really good at working the crowd. He has that sort of powerful aura. The drummer's actually really great. He's got good timekeeping, he hits really hard. He's unfortunately let down a little bit by the quality of his actual drum kit, which is a crap reason to be marked down. The vocalist as well really loves it, but because English is his second language, his enunciation on some of the words is a little bit lax, but I've got to let him away with that because, come on, can you sing one song, never mind 2 hours worth of music in a different language just because you love the music? So that is dedication up the hoo-ha, right? I'd just love to see these guys. They look fun, they look like they're having a great time. Check them out. Number 4 on this list, Dangerous Young. There's not a lot out there on these guys, unfortunately, because they went quiet around 2017. I think they were going for a few years before that, but there is enough evidence out there to put them on this very prestigious list. From Germany, these guys pack a really big punch with big dedication to the ACDC sound. The female rhythm guitarist that they had for most of the time that they were around absolutely nailed the Malcolm Young sound. Is she still in the band now? I just don't know. The drummer and bass player have a really great groove together. The lead guitar is absolutely fantastic. The tone, the bends, the aggression, it's all there. The singer does a really great Bon impression, but as with almost all ACDC tribute bands out there, the Brian Johnson tunes sound a little bit strained on the voice, but he does a very, very good job nonetheless. Number 3 on the list, Ballbreaker from Sweden. Sweden loves metal, Sweden loves rock, ACDC loves Sweden, and Sweden just make really great music. This is no exception. Great groove, the drummer and the bass player are solid, the vocals, especially the Bon Scott vocals, are exceptional. The rhythm guitar tone is banging, and I really love how much the rhythm guitarist loves being in this band. It warms my heart whenever I see any musician just on stage pulling that stank face like, yes! I just love it. I love the rhythm guitarist in this band. The lead guitar is on point as well. I heard them play a couple of songs a little bit on the slow side, and again the Brian Johnson impression is a little bit strained, but nonetheless this is such a great entry from Sweden. I love these guys. Number 2, ABCD. There's a few ABCDs. This one's from Sweden. Again, I really wanted these guys to be number 1. These guys are technically my favorite ACDC copycat band ever. Done. Finished. But I couldn't put them at number 1 just because the Brian Johnson voice that he does is so weak. I couldn't do it. That's kind of why I love them as well, because they do not for a second take themselves remotely seriously. It's great. That aside, they make really good original music. I'd call these guys a copycat band rather than a tribute band per se. They have 3 albums of original music. It's on Spotify and they sound absolutely superb. I cannot get over the production of the guitars and the drums and the bass in these albums. It is massive. They also end every song they ever did by firing cannons, like at the end of For Those About to Rock. Fire! So funny, love it. The lead guitar, the creativity of the solos and the riffs is just amazing. They literally motivated me to keep working on my own rock music. Notable tunes to check out are Rock and Roll Devil, Have You Got the Guts, and Mikey's Butt. Trust me on that one, it is great. It's a song about hating Michael Bolton. I don't know why. There you go. As for where they are now, I actually don't know. They went quiet about a decade ago. I tried to find anything out about their whereabouts and it's just not there. I can't find any information about them, which really sucks because I would go to Sweden to watch these guys live. I'm guessing they just sort of had families and moved on because they've been doing this for quite a long time. They've got 3 albums out. They've been going since like the late 80s, I think. So that's probably what's happened there. Check them out. So before I get to number 1, I'm going to do a few honourable mentions as well. Number 1 of the honourable mentions is Crocus. If you've never heard of Crocus, you're in for a bit of a treat. The guitar tones aren't quite up there with AC/DC's, but they have some really great rock songs. I especially like their later albums where they calmed down a little bit and got into the groove. Mark Storace's voice sounds so much like Bon Scott's. I'd recommend their album Hoodoo, which just has loads of banging riffs and it's a great solid rock album. Number 2 is Hayseed Dixie. These guys have an immensely entertaining repertoire of bluegrass style rock songs. Not only do they do AC/DC covers, they do a lot of those, they also do The Who, Motorhead, Van Halen. They didn't make the main list simply because they've switched up the genre. They're cool. The last honourable mention I'll put on here is acdcfans.net on YouTube. These guys do some excellent AC/DC covers. The reason they're not on the main list is because they don't tend to play live and work remotely together, so not a traditional band setup per se. Their covers though, especially recently, have become very, very good. The recent singer that they've gotten in is the closest Brian Johnson sounding person I've ever heard. I actually emailed these guys a long time ago to see if I could get involved, but I just didn't have the setup at the time to do anything with them, which kind of sucks, but that's how it goes. They were lovely people though, and they got back to me. Okay, so before I get to my number one, you know what to do. Helps me out a lot if you just hit the like button. Many cheersy McCheers, thanks for that. Number one, 77 from Barcelona, España. This is another band that makes original music deliberately in line with the ACDC sound. I first discovered them way back in 2009 when they released Maximum Rock and Roll. It's a really great album. It's all on Spotify. The lead guitar and rhythm section groove is delightful. And I love the creativity of what is essentially taking those AC/DC sounds and creating something new out of it. I cannot wait to go and see them live someday, if we ever get to travel again, that is. My favourite track on this Maximum Overdrive album is Down and Dirty. It's got that jailbreak vibe with the shaker and the tight hi-hat and the gritty rhythm guitar. Check them out. So that's it, that's the rundown of my little list. I wanted to make it a top 10, but there are a lot of bands in the kind of fringe categories. Also, if I want to put my name to something, I really have to believe in it and love it. There's a lot of AC/DC tribute bands out there, but you have to understand how tough it is to really emulate what AC/DC are and to generate that perfect formula of what I think and I consider is the perfect rock band. It's incredibly hard to get that right, but I'm 100% behind people just getting together, making some music and playing songs from their favorite band and just going out there and having a laugh with everyone else about it. And that's what it's about, really. Leave me a comment. I'm always interested in hearing new bands that are doing something similar. Tell me, what are your experiences with tribute bands? Do you not like them? Do you like them? Is it arguably better to go and see a tribute band because you're right up close and personal? You can even meet the guys, you can hang out with them for a beer afterwards. It's not like going to Wembley and seeing AC/DC in the distance over there and they're, you know, it's a different thing, isn't it? So, you know, I'm all for it. Anyone wants to copy them, do their thing. It's great, it's really great, I love it. So that's it, I'll see you guys on the next thing that happens.